The town called it an accident, but Sheriff Susan had seen the old files, and she knew a predator was still hunting in her quiet streets. It began with Old Man Hemlock. He was found at the bottom of the rickety stairs to his dusty antique shop, a broken neck and a life extinguished. The coroner ruled it a tragic, but simple, fall. Case closed. But something didn't sit right with Susan. It was the book, a rare first edition of a local history, splayed open on the counter upstairs. Hemlock wasn't the type to leave a valuable book unattended, especially not in that state. It was a small detail, a thread sticking out from a perfectly woven blanket of assumptions. The town council, led by the ever-charismatic Mayor Thompson, urged her to move on. "Susan," he'd said, his voice smooth as polished oak, "let the poor man rest. We're a peaceful town. Let's keep it that way." But Susan couldn't shake the image of that book. That night, she pulled the cold case files, the town's forgotten skeletons. Dust motes danced in the single beam of her desk lamp as she opened a file from 50 years ago. The first one was a young librarian, Sarah Jenkins, found in 1974. She had supposedly slipped and fallen in the library's flooded basement, a faulty pipe being the official cause. The report noted she was researching local genealogies for the town's upcoming centennial. A photograph showed her desk upstairs, a stack of books on the Thompson family, the town's founders, pushed neatly to the side. An insignificant detail, dismissed at the time. Susan's heart began to beat a little faster. She pulled another file. 1988, a high school history teacher, Mr. Gable, died in a freak hunting accident. A single shot, ruled as a stray from another hunter. Gable was a known enthusiast of local lore, particularly obsessed with the Thompson family's land acquisitions in the early days. His colleagues told the original investigators he believed the Thompsons had cheated other families out of their property. He was found near an old, forgotten cemetery on what was now Thompson land. The report mentioned his research notes were water-damaged and illegible, a convenient end to an inconvenient line of inquiry. Next, 2005. A journalist, a city transplant named David Chun, was working on a series about the town's history. He was killed in a hit-and-run on a deserted country road. The driver was never found. The case went cold within months. Susan found a copy of his last email to his editor, a subject line that read, "Got a huge lead. The town's perfect facade is about to crack." His notes, which his editor had forwarded to the original investigators, were deemed incoherent ramblings about old land deeds and a generational secret. The common thread was a reference to something called the Willow Creek Pact. Susan sat back, the air in her office thick and cold. Hemlock, Jenkins, Gable, Chun. For accidents spanning 5 decades. Each victim was digging into the town's history. Specifically, the history of the Thompson family. Hemlock's antique shop was known for its collection of historical documents, the very ones he sold and traded. The book on his counter was about the founding families. Susan realized old Hemlock hadn't just fallen. He'd found something that connected all these deaths. The pattern was chillingly clear. It wasn't random violence. It was a systematic cleansing. Anyone who got too close to the Thompson family's past, who started asking the wrong questions about how they built their empire, met with an unfortunate accident. The librarian researching their genealogy, the teacher questioning their land deals, the journalist sniffing around a generational secret. And now, the antique dealer who likely stumbled upon a document that tied it all together. The predator wasn't just a single person. It was a legacy, a dark secret protected by the town's most powerful family for generations. The peaceful town was a carefully maintained illusion, built on a foundation of graves. The next morning, Susan tried to reopen the cases. The council blocked her at every turn. Mayor Thompson himself paid her a visit. He was calm, fatherly, his smile never quite reaching his eyes. He spoke of budgets, of not upsetting the public, of letting sleeping dogs lie. But Susan saw the flicker of steel beneath the velvet. Her investigation had hit a wall of smiling, polite resistance. But she had one more lead. The Willow Creek Pact, mentioned in David Chen's notes. She spent hours in the town archives, cross-referencing old maps and property records. She finally found it, a faded entry in a 19th century ledger. It was a land agreement, transferring a massive parcel of land to the first Thompson in exchange for. The next page was missing, ripped out, but the signature at the bottom of the preceding page made her blood run cold. It wasn't a Thompson. It was the ancestor of another prominent family, one who had supposedly left town in poverty. Just as she was packing up, her phone buzzed. It was an unknown number. "Sheriff," a distorted voice whispered, "you're getting close." Hemlock found the original pact. He was going to bring it to you. The line went dead. Her own phone rang again almost immediately. This time, the caller ID showed Mayor Thompson. Susan answered, her hand steady. "Susan." The mayor's voice was warm, friendly, a stark contrast to the chilling silence in her office. "I hear you've been working so hard. You look tired. Why don't you come out to the estate this evening? We can have a friendly chat, clear the air. Just the two of us." His estate, an isolated mansion miles from town, surrounded by the very lands his family had acquired so long ago. A friendly chat. Susan looked out her window at the quiet streets, at the town she had sworn to protect. The predator was no longer hiding. He was inviting her into his lair. What happens next? You'll have to find out in part 2. If you enjoyed this story and want to know how Sheriff Susan handles this chilling invitation, make sure to like this video, share it with a friend who loves a good mystery, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the conclusion. Thanks for watching.